In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the upcoming pattern where we have multiple cold shots on the way, as well as multiple snowstorm opportunities here in the east, as well as one up there in the upper Midwest into the Great Lakes that we're going to discuss deeply today. Let's just dive into things, and as we take a look at the current weather, we're already dealing with cooler weather than what we were seeing for most of December. We see this kind of marginally cold area, and as some people pointed out in the comments, this cooldown is not going to be severe. Okay, so we see a lot of green in here indicative of rain, so we can clearly tell that the high temperatures are above freezing. So this is nowhere near a major Arctic blast or an Arctic blast by any means. This is a kind of transient, just marginal cooldown that came straight from the west. And the main reason for this, we're just going to break this down real quickly, is there's not a lot of ice and snow in this area for the very far northern United States and southern Canada. So as these cooldowns shoot in, they're really warming up already by the time they're in southern Canada, and especially by the time they're in the northern United States. And by the time they get to the east here, they're very marginal, even though they were very intense when they were in northern Canada. You might be thinking, well, obviously it's going to be colder in northern Canada, but typically there is snow and ice in these areas like southern Canada, northern United States, and they're kind of able to stay very cool as they move through these areas. And by the time they would get to the eastern states and even far south into the east, they would be very, very potent. So right now, something that we're watching for on a seasonal basis in the long range is for ice and snow to develop in these areas. So when these cool shots move through, they're really not losing steam as they move in, but right now that is the case. They are losing steam unless they're already extremely intense or moving in very quickly, which we will have some of those, but it's still not going to be as cold as it would if there was ice and snow. So let's move towards tomorrow afternoon, and we can see things get a little bit cooler. We do have some snow showers, but again, still not very seasonable, still warmer than normal. In a sense that if we were experiencing this type of a cooldown on a typical year, it would be much cooler, as we just mentioned. Take a look out west. We do have actually a pretty expansive storm moving through these areas, even some heavier snowfall there for the Sierra Nevadas. Definitely experiencing some interesting weather there. We do have this double dip trough, as I've called it, where we have this second more potent system moving through. We have cooldown number 1, which we went over, is already very marginal. As we mentioned, this one's going to be moving out, but it's still in the area. This will give cooldown number 2 a little bit more intensity, as there's already some cooler air in the area. I think that really helps out in this area, in this situation, to benefit that cooldown and allow it to be a little bit more severe. Note that at the same exact point here, during this second cooldown, we have blues here throughout a lot of the Northeast and Ohio Valley. So that's just a little observation in here that indicates to me that it is a bit cooler in the temperature range here for this second cooldown, which happens only a day or two later. So these are coming very close back to back. As we head towards later on towards the second here, we see that second cooldown moves out, and we already have cooldown number 3. So they're coming very frequently. And this third one is going to be more potent than both the two before it. As you can see, it's moving in a very intense way, and we actually have a pretty decent setup. I would say the main thing holding this one back is that we do have a storm featuring cooler air moving onshore to the west at this point, bringing snowfall and rainfall. This is going to cause things to become a little bit more flat than they would be if we were experiencing, there's our daily emojis, if we were experiencing more of a warm-up towards the west. This would allow for this cooldown to really dive south. It's still going to be very intense, but it could have been even worse. And I think that goes for pretty much everything in weather. So if we're being critical here, we can do that all day for any type of situation. But we do have a pretty weak low developing over the Gulf at the same time as this cooldown that's trying to move in a hurry here, and there's a lot of potential for snowfall, especially in the interior areas of the east. So we're talking the Appalachian Mountain Range here, especially. This pocket in here has some really, really good potential to see snowfall, and as you can see, by Thursday morning here on January 4th, we get just that very heavy snowfall throughout the Smoky Mountains and Appalachian Mountains. Your river valleys are experiencing some warmer temperatures, likely to see less snowfall. This isn't going to be a widespread snowfall event, and it's going to be far stretching. And what I mean by that is that this is not going to really likely bring snowfall to everywhere dependent, not even dependent on elevation. It's not going to be widespread in that nature. It's going to be based on a lot to do with the topography, a lot to do with elevation here in general. If it does occur, we're still 150 hours out. There's still time for this to change, so I don't want to act like this is a sure thing. But if it occurs exactly like this, elevation would play a role, which isn't very seasonable, might I add. Usually, we should be seeing widespread snowfall on the western and northern end of this storm. But again, the ice and snow amounts here for southern Canada and the very far northern United States is playing a role and causing things to be warmer than they would have been otherwise. Although, note that by the time we're reaching early January, there's a whole lot of cold and a whole lot of snow happening in here. So this should help long range and long term to see things cooling down, even though we've gotten off to a rocky start. We have a 988 and a trough right in the eastern states, a deep digging trough with a very vertical climb there on that jet stream. This has a ton of potential, but again, those pieces that are being brought together to make this storm happen just aren't of highest quality possible. They're of marginal or moderate quality at best. So we don't have as much to work with as it could have been, as the theme of this video has been. But we have a strong low, a cooler pattern, and potential for some snowfall there between the 3rd and the 5th there that eventually moves out. Now, we do see that there's already another trough on the way. This one's a little bit weaker. According to this model, things could change, and we've seen these fluctuate a lot on what the models want the intensity to be. So certainly this could look more intense, it could look less intense. There's a lot of variables here, and people get annoyed when I say stuff like that. They're like, oh, well, it could be this, maybe that. That's how it is. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be transparent with the information we're looking at. It's very long range. Most forecasters aren't even showing you this because they don't even want to talk about the maybes. But here I am being transparent with that information and giving you the best of my knowledge, which is really that this is not a sure thing. It's obvious. Beyond 5 days is far from a sure thing, but we're going to go over all the possibilities. That's always what we've done on the channel. Some people enjoy it, some people get annoyed by it, but it is what makes us different, and in business that is key. If I was doing the same thing as the National Weather Service, I would be worse at it than them, and of course everybody would navigate over to them, as they should. I prefer to be different and set myself apart, and that's just how I do it, and I found, that that's been the best route here for direct weather. I don't know why I'm breaking this down so much, but we do get another potential weaker snowstorm. Obviously potential could increase and we could see this be a little bit more major, but it looks more like the mid-Atlantic light snowfall. Mixed storm. Again, we don't have deep cold to work with and it switches all the way over to rain, but that is 10 days out, so certainly this will look a lot different. And it could move north, south, east, west. Storm could be weaker, stronger, non-existent. At days 7 through 10, anything goes, okay? This could be the most major storm in the world. It could be a storm that doesn't even exist by the time we get to this point. But the models are our best guess. And really, at days, 5 to 10, really, I don't even like to focus on specifics. I more so like to specifically focus on overall pattern. And that's what we're seeing here is an overall pattern of really frequent cooldowns of weak to moderate intensity, with pretty frequent storms moving along them. And if you ask me, especially since we're going to be seeing this for quite a while, at least a week plus, that offers a lot more potential than we've seen recently whatsoever. So certainly, this is good news for cold and snow lovers. Is it the best news in the world? Absolutely not. We could be taking a look at a pattern that supports major cooldowns because we have excellent ice and snow up in Canada, and major nor'easters moving along it the whole way. It would be like 2013 into 2014 for New England all over again. But of course, like I've mentioned multiple times here, that is not at all what we're expecting here. But the good news is that it's a whole lot better than what we saw in December, and we should really take any improvement at this point because we were at rock bottom pretty much for cold and snow. The GFS model, actually, we get quite a bit of agreement. We get these frequent cooldowns, and we get these inland snowstorms. Although this model wants to keep these lows a little bit further southeast, which it tends to do, so we should consider that to be possibly a bias, which means that it could end up actually being a little bit further northwest than this. The cold is on the same area, though. The cold is located at the exact same spot that the European model has it. So what this does is it doesn't bring snowfall further east, it really just brings less snowfall in this case. If this low was further northwest, it would be a lot closer to what the Euro shows. and we would be seeing a lot more potential for New England down through the Appalachian Mountain Range, which is a big possibility here for early January. We get this second storm as well. This one moves up the coast a whole lot better, but again, sticking with the trend that we've been discussing, really not a lot of cold to work with in here. This is probably near normal temperatures in the east here. We don't have a major trough by any means. Probably seasonable. It just so happens that this storm is moving in through the nighttime, so we hit those lows of the day, which gives us a better shot at snowfall. We have a stronger low pressure system over eastern North Carolina, and we really end up with a similar result, kind of the Appalachian Mountain Range into New England here. So let's watch this play out. And sure enough, we get a very, very similar output to what we saw in the European model with a few of these storms. And then here's that potential major plains into the Midwest, into the Great Lakes area storm. So we see a major trough move into the west this time around, actually. And it's probably moving eastward after this point because we see a lot of warmth trying to build for the west coast, which is usually a sign that all of this is going to head eastward over time. But this is actually a very intense cold shot, so take it with a grain of salt because, again, the ingredients aren't great for that to happen, but this model shows it sure enough. But it is a very strong low, very intense cold air to work with, and if the pattern supports this, that would be really interesting. And we actually get a pretty classic Midwest and Ohio Valley Great Lakes system out of this, which would be interesting to see. And it's been many years since we've seen that. I mean, the people in the east think they haven't seen snowfall. They're actually less below normal as far as snowfall as the Great Lakes in the Midwest and the Ohio Valley is. They haven't seen major snowfall in years and years. It's been interesting how snow has avoided them like the plague over the past probably 5 years for the most part. And, you know, historically, they see amazing snowstorms. So very interesting. And as I kind of said, we see this warmth expand out west. So we see this kind of what we call positive PNA. That stands for Pacific North American Oscillation. And this sends this kind of northern jet deep diving into the south and east, bringing actually pretty severe cold here compared to what we saw earlier on. Is this likely? Probably not because of that ice and snow situation, like I said, but we did see the models making this area receive some snowfall, some really cold temperatures over the course of the first week and a half of January, and that could help to support something like this as we're reaching around this point, which is near mid-January. So if conditions continue to get better and those ingredients come together better, we could see some more colder, more intense cold later on in January, like this is showing. We do get some coastal lows here, secondary and primary low, which does bring actually some coastal snowfall perhaps here. But again, the details at this point are really not important at all. And it's more about the overall pattern, which is frequent cooldowns worsening as we approach mid-January. So that's the biggest takeaway here, with multiple low pressure systems moving up the coast. So if those things come together on an occasion or two, that spells snowfall. It's still a big maybe. There's still a chance, I'm going to be completely transparent here, there's still a chance that we get to mid-January with no snowfall. And there's a chance that we see every single one of these storms produce snowfall and we get multiple major snowstorms. All of those are possible and anything in between. So that's the difficulty of forecasting, especially in this day and age, which the past couple of years models have actually regressed a little bit in my opinion, and it's become a lot harder to predict things beyond 3 to 5 days. So that gives us very little to work with other than kind of seeing the pattern, seeing the teleconnections, and trying to predict what kind of pattern we're going to move into, which is going to be seasonable to below normal temperatures with warm-ups in between, but very frequent cooldowns. That's my overall outlook here for the beginning of January overall. Now, snowfall would be very widespread compared to what we've seen for most of, well, all of December, surely. We get this snowstorm on the European model moving up through these areas, bringing some 10-inch plus amounts for certain areas. Again, mostly high elevation. GFS model, we see multiple storms like that. Look at how similar this area looks. There's certainly really good agreement there. And then we get this crazy snowstorm across the plains, Midwest, and Great Lakes. The likelihood of that is a little bit lower. Keep that in mind, as that's very, very far out. But it is cool to see a model showing a pattern that supports that. That's certainly something positive that does have some legs to stand on. But beyond 10 days, you want to take it with a grain of salt, like I always say. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it's been educational. I try to be a lot more transparent in this video, kind of just break things down for you. I know it bores some people, that's why I don't do it every day. But since the comments have been up in debate and everybody's highly emotional about the warmer temperatures and no snow. I wanted to just give some insight into kind of where my head's at and where the pattern's at overall and my thoughts for the upcoming weeks ahead. I hope it did that. Be sure to subscribe as we do upload every single day. We will keep you guys up to date with this, and hopefully together we'll be seeing a very snowy and cold pattern at some point this winter. Be sure to hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload so you never miss one. Also, like the video if you did enjoy it, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.